The structure of Rentwell. So when you hire Rentwell, you are supported by quite a large team. And so what this means is you will have a dedicated property manager, and this dedicated property manager is also supported by a field support person and a field manager. So the field support and the field manager, their job is to drive around 90% of the day, get to properties, inspect properties, and then they draft up a report at the end of the day that goes to the property manager, which gives them a layout of what they saw during those field inspections. And so the field inspections, we are typically at a property pre-move-in to inspect the condition of the property prior to a tenant moving in. We're there 3 months after the tenant moved in. What we've found is typically after 3 months, or by the time 3 months gets here, the tenant has already fully moved into the property. They're treating the property, as they normally would. So we're looking for things like, are there additional occupants? Are there pets that might be living in the property who aren't on the lease? Things like that. So we have pre-move-in, we have post-move-in, and then we have the lease renewal inspection. So about 3 months, 4 months prior to the lease expiration date, we're getting out to the property to document the condition. And that report is sent over to the property manager so that they can use that information to determine and work with you of, do we want to renew or do we not want to renew the tenant? Because that tenant may have been paying rent on time every month, which is great, but how are they keeping the condition of the property? And then we do a move-out inspection, which is when the tenant moves out. We're there a day or two afterwards. We're documenting the condition. We're documenting if there's any charges that will be put against their security deposit. And all of this will be communicated with both the tenant and yourself. So when you work with Rentwell, you have your dedicated property manager, and that's really the person that you call for all of your questions. We have the field support and the field manager. They're visiting the properties, and that's their number one focus. And then we have a transaction coordinator, and this person's job is really leasing. It's tenant placement. That is everything from the time a tenant expresses interest in seeing a property all the way through the application process, the background check, and the move-in. And each role that we have, we kind of like to think of it as like the Noah's Ark concept. Each role is backed up by another role. So God forbid something happened to your property manager, they're out sick, or maybe they take vacation for a week, they will have backup, or you will have backup from another property manager in our company. This way you experience no downtime. That's really the makeup of who your team would be: the property manager, the field manager, the field support, and the transaction coordinator. And then of course, that office is supported by our back-end office, which we call the hub. Think of it like shared services. And that is where all the redundant tasks like money in, money out, vendor payments, all of that goes through our corporate office. This way your property manager and your field manager really stay laser focused on lease, manage, maintain, which means matching the right tenant with the right property, scheduling all the maintenance and making sure that it gets done, and all the daily management work, which is taking phone calls, rent collections, evictions if needed, things like that sort. So that is the basic makeup of a Rentwell office.